Sister City International program, and also recognized by the King of Sweden with a special award. So it's my honor tonight to introduce our speaker, Madison's own Mayor, Mary Hawkins Butler.
Thank all of you for being here this evening, and I want to thank the Mona Board for all their hard work. And George, you're still our genie. You make everybody happy. So if you have anything you want done, don't forget George is right here in the corner. And all the nice things that Paul said about me or attributed to me, they're not just for me. I want this wonderful board to stand up. Please stand up. We are truly blessed in the city of Madison. We're blessed to have a community that we're so proud of that there's no doubt about it. It's one of the finest in the Southeast. And as I look across the room, I see faces like Hal Ellison and others that have worked for many, many, many years. When I say many, almost as long as I've been mayor. To fight the fight, to build what we have here. And for you all, I am so grateful, and I thank you. It's a blessing what we have. God has been good to us. Oh, what prayer has built in Madison, Mississippi. As you look around the room, you'll see all the new development that's coming to the city of Madison. Beautiful buildings, you notice. Some of them are brick. Sam's at the back. I have to tell you a cute story. A lady stopped me the other day and said, "Mary, what have you done now to run off Sam's?" I said, "Ma'am, that is the building that's right in front of the theater. It doesn't look like a Sam's to me." Well, it does look like a Sam's to me. And I told someone the other day that Sam's was so good, I think we ought to make Walmart upgrade, don't you think? We have a lot of medical facilities coming to the community. Our parks will be under construction for 3 new baseball fields at Liberty Park. We'll finish that out. This fall we'll start that construction, right? Whit and Vern, y'all got that under control. We have wonderful playground equipment that's universal for all children. The best of the best will be at Liberty Park, along with complete refurbishing for the Strawberry Patch Park. It's about time. But that's something that they all can enjoy. Juniper's Jewelers, building to my right. Look how fabulous it is. It will be next to Broadmoor Baptist Church. Beautiful building. Juniper Jewelers, and it's a little bit of a secret what all's coming with them, but it's going to be good. River Hills Bank is next to Juniper's, the one right behind it. And oh, our churches. We look at the expansion of First Baptist Church downtown, the Pentecostal Church, and the Methodist Church. The city of prayer built. It's absolutely wonderful. And one of the big announcements that we have tonight, a couple of things. Number one, ceasefire. It's in the neighborhoods. And I see Mary Richmond. Any other mayor and youth council members here? Where are you? Marion's has been president of our youth council. They've taken on high-speed internet to make sure that Madison has more sign-up than any other city. And we want to be ceasefire's poster child for getting the most in, right? And I think we're getting ready to go green in one neighborhood really soon. So y'all get involved in that and make that happen quickly. You know, good things take some time. Good things don't happen in a day, or a month, or a year, maybe 10 years, 20 years. But as we all met in the little school in the early 80s, now I think you were there, we talked about building this great city. And we talked about what we could do. We talked about building something remarkable and exceptional. A place for families. place for children, place for retirees. And we would not accept the status quo in Madison. And it would be spectacular. And it would be something that other cities could emulate. And we could say, if we did it, you can do it too. And we kept the faith. One thing Madison needed and wanted, it was in the town plan, was a downtown square. And the plan showed that the downtown square should be located in an area that was where 463 intersected Highway 51. Well, it happens to be the old school site where the Red Caboose is. And many years ago, the school property was not for sale, and some said you'll never get it. And we said, well, time to make that happen. The city purchased the property. Many developers were interested in it through the years. Some wanted parts of it, corners for service stations or drugstores. We said, no, we got a plan. And tonight we're happy to announce that the city of Madison is under contract with Bear Properties out of Birmingham, Alabama, to build Madison's downtown square. Bear Properties has done some 14 million square feet of retail. They're a privately owned company. They did the Summit in Birmingham. You know where the Summit is? The lady shop there? Well, they're good. And they're the perfect developer for this project. And hopefully we'll be able to make some more announcements later this year. And maybe next year we'll have a groundbreaking. But this is the layout, and it shows a grocery store, a small one, retail, restaurants, condos above the retail and office space, city hall, and the Dream, a performing arts center. So you can walk, shop, rest, listen to entertainment. It will be a destination point that if you come to Madison, you can stay in a little boutique hotel. It's not a lifestyle center. It's a downtown. And it will be the tie that binds the east and the west, the north and the south areas of Madison. So when you say, can you meet me downtown for a cup of coffee? You won't have to say, where's downtown? Ladies and gentlemen, we have been building this great city together for many, many years. A long time. Even those that came before us believed in this place called Madison Station. Oh, they knew Madison was special. They knew it was different. It was a community of great pride, and is a community of great pride. And it was a private community. If you look around, you can see it was loved and preserved. And so my job was easy, just to protect it. I fell in love with Madison when I was 15 years old, when I moved my business to downtown Madison, next door to Madison Town Hall. Loved it then, and I love it now. You have honored me by allowing me to be your mayor more than half of my life. More than half of my life. But now, we have to make a decision together of where we go from here with our community. It's the same old song, same issues that we've had 10 years ago. And that's the issue of what's going on in Madison County government. This is a great city, but this city can be greater. And we've got a problem in Madison County. We've got a serious problem in Madison County. And tonight I'm going to just tell you what I think. And I'm going to share with you what I think and what I know. Because this city is my love. And I know that people can move and change things. And I knew that one day, someday, that there would be a calling on the people of Madison to say, this is our town like we did in the 80s. This is our town and not in our town history. And I knew somewhere down the line that we would have a meeting one day and we would have to say, this is our community. This is our county and not in our county district. We can only be as strong as we want to be. And you are the only ones that can change it. You're the only ones that can do it. When you look at how many tax dollars that have gone to the county board of supervisors to issue back to us, to come back to our communities, it makes me sad. The citizens of Madison have paid, in the city of Madison alone, $66 million of your tax dollars have gone to Madison County in the past 7 years. $66 million have gone to the Board of Supervisors for them to decide how to spend your money. $3.5 million has come back to the city of Madison of your $66 million because the state law says that we are entitled to some road and bridge money. But we've got another $500,000 that has come back to your city to refurbish neighborhood streets, along with a list provided to us that they would resurface if we took your city tax dollars and matched it with your county tax dollars. Does that make sense? And if we didn't choose to do those streets, we'd lose that money. Something's wrong with that picture. It doesn't make me sad. It makes me mad. And what makes me mad is that we sit here and we see the Board of Supervisors pay to a sole contractor engineer, Rudy Warnock, over 10 years, $23 million. And when I say a sole contract engineer, it's kind of like what happened with the Department of Corrections. Anybody remember that? You had a sole source provider that subbed out what needed to be done. Well, Rudy Warnock, for $23 million, subs out work. Picking up the phone, calling someone to do the work. $23 million. Some of you in this room helped pay for a study that Richard McAfee did in 2010. And Mr. McAfee is a contract expert that did contract reviews for the Pentagon, working under Colin Powell and George Bush. And I read to you his report. Number one, the county failed to implement adequate contract controls. Number two, multiple instances, Warnock and Associates was paid fees in excess of those allowable terms under the contract. And on top of that, Mr. Warnock can choose who his subs are, and under the contract, though he owns those contracts. So we don't know how much he subs it out for. And when I went to the Board of Supervisors and asked that they vote to make him produce those subcontracts, the Board of Supervisors voted no. They want to protect Mr. Warnock. And also, as a sidebar on the insurance. The insurance provided in these contracts protect Mr. Warnock's position far more than they do the taxpayers of this county. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something's wrong. Now, I'm not going to stop until something's done about this. Because that's our money. We engineer and re-engineer and engineer again and engineer the same road. And then we've got an engineer that reviews his own work when it's done. And if we get change orders, he approves them and he gets more money. So Mr. Pickering comes in and he says, after a procedural audit, and I show here, audit shows engineer fees practices above board. Audit clears county on contracts. And in this document, they happen to find, the auditor's office happens to find that you owe Rudy Warnock $200,000 more because there was an invoice that he lost. And he forgot to submit it to the county. Now, if anybody owed you $200,000, would you know you were owed $200,000? Would it take the state auditor to find the $200,000? This is unbelievable. And we accept it. We accept something that is not acceptable in Madison or in the state of Mississippi. It's not acceptable. Let's talk about the PID. We continue to bail out the PID. Bad decisions, raise our taxes, what they said to pay for a PID. Let's talk about Sulphur Springs, the lake that leaks. How much was it, John Bell, $3 million? Where are you now on it? Let's talk about the airport. We say we didn't have anything to do with the airport, the county says. But minutes show that Tim Johnson, John Dale Crosby, and Rudy Warnock went to the Madison County Economic Development Authority and it was their idea. So that's another slush fund for you to pull through. And let's talk about how we got Rudy Warnock as our engineer. Mr. Steen, you were the swing vote that got him there. There were two supervisors that said they weren't going to vote for him. And you said to me yourself, I'm going to give him a chance. You gave him a chance, Ron. $23 million worth of chances. If you hadn't voted for him, he wouldn't have been there. And we wouldn't be discussing him tonight. It's the same song, and it's not going to change. Now, do we want to sing? Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There's only so much money that they can keep doling out. Every time you turn around, they're doling out the money. And one of the largest counties in this state, we pay engineer 4 to 1 more than they do. And they're about 60,000 people larger. And their attorneys paid 7 to 1. We paid 7 to 1 more. Wake up, Madison. Wake up. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you all this. I'm going to confess. I turned 61. And I am tired of this. I am tired. I come to you because I love you. I love this city. And tonight, I'm here to tell you that we got one chance. The time is now, and the day is here to do something about this mess. To do something that the state auditor won't do. To do something that only you can do. Tonight I want to ask you, as your mayor, and not speaking for the board, they can speak for themselves, but I want to ask you to join me in supporting what is called CleanSweepMadisonCounty.org. And I want to ask you to send the supervisors home. I want to ask you to vote for Trey Baxter, District 2. I want to ask you to vote for Jill Ford, District 3. Have you met her, Mr. Steen? You're going to. And I want to ask you to vote for Sheila Jones, District 1. Mr. Crosby, your opponent. For Madison, Mississippi. For Ridgeland. For Canton. For the people at Bloodstaff. For the people in Florida. And you're going to hear, oh, Mary's doing this because she wants all the money for Madison. Mary's doing this because she doesn't want this city to have it. Mary's doing this. And they're going to make it an issue. And then you're going to see all these bogus numbers come in about how Madison got $14 or $15 million. And half of that's in engineering fees on reunion interchange. You think that if it was our money, we would be hiring it out for Rudy to engineer more stuff? No way. You're going to hear it. But let's look at the taxpayers of Madison County. Let's look at Yandle Road that has not been touched, but engineered and re-engineered, that a bus flipped and children could have been killed. That's not in the city. Our money is being misspent, misappropriated, and I want to know who's auditing the auditor. And I want to know phone and recommend Rudy Warnock as an engineer to another county? Huh? I believe things happen for a reason. And I have seen firsthand what is going on in Madison County and what is happening in response from the auditor's office. Madison is my passion. But Madison will fall if corruption is not cleaned up. No matter where you go in any community in this country, no matter how small or large, if it starts to fail and you see growth leave, if you dig deep enough, you're going to find there's corruption. You're going to find it's there. And it eats away at you. Mississippi was just deemed the most corrupt state in the United States of America by Fortune magazine. You heard that? But yet we're the most charitable. The state with a heart. Do you know what that does for economic development? Most corrupt state in the United States? Oh, you can say, well, it's because we put more people in jail. The feds did. Had nothing to do with what happened at the state level. When I pick up the phone and call and ask for help and you get no help, when I ask for things to be done through the Board of Supervisors and we get no help, we get a penance of what's going on, just little crumbs. That's not acceptable. Something has got to change. Something has got to stop. And I do believe that what happened in Madison, because everything that's happened in Madison has been for a reason. And what happened in Madison was to show us what is going on throughout this state. Yes, I qualified to run for auditor. And do you know how my phone has been blowing up? And when I travel to different towns and visit, do you know they have similar stories? You can't pick and choose. Nobody wants to touch something that may cause them issues politically. Well, at 60, I don't care. The best thing that I can do for Madison is to go after the big stick that can do something to help all of Mississippi. Madison is a role model. If we could share throughout this state that every community could wrap their arms around their city and say, this is ours and we're going to fix it and we can do things and we can better our community. Can you imagine what we could start in Mississippi? Can you imagine what we could do in the state of Mississippi if we took our state and had that same love, passion, drive, and determination to say, this is our state. And it's not acceptable that we are the very last in anything that's good, and we're top on the list of everything that's bad. Is that acceptable? It's not. And only we can change it. Only we can change it. It has to start somewhere. I had a gentleman that visited with me the other day from Phoenix, Arizona. He said, I didn't want to come here. I didn't want to be here. Oh, but I don't want to leave. You know, those things are not true that I've heard. Corruption is at the very bottom of what causes the fall of great cities and towns and communities. It's the thief in the night. It causes it. We have corruption in Madison County. And for 10 years, we can't get the auditors to do anything about it. A little girl asked, Mayor, are you moving up from being mayor? And I thought about it, and you know, you don't move up from being Mayor Mary or Mayor Madison. If the Lord wants me to walk through that door, I will be moving out to do what I feel a calling that I need to do. And I can promise you that I will never abandon this city, ever. And should I serve as state auditor, I can promise you there won't be any more corruption in us. And I can promise other towns there won't be more. There will be a crusade against corruption. A crusade against corruption. And I think it's time. Maybe we have this big revival. Mississippi's had enough. Mississippi says no. Mississippi says, not in our state. Together we can do it. But we clean up our backyard together. We clean it up at the county level here in Madison County, where 3 individuals have said they will vote to change it. And they will keep their promise to the people, and they will not forget who they serve. I understand we have closed door meetings in executive session. I heard about one Monday, John Bell, I thought you were going to tell me about proposed parking complex might go out Parkway East. How about that? Is it true? Was it discussed? It was mentioned. Apartments just outside the city limits of Madison was mentioned in executive session. And certainly there's someone in this room that knows whether or not that is legal. Go in executive session to discuss apartments. I don't think that's economic development. But these closed door meetings to discuss things that can hurt this county needs to stop. And tonight, I ask you to understand why I put my name on that ballot to run for state auditor. Because I feel at least I have to try. And I ask you tonight to join CleanSweepMadisonCounty.org, but don't get rid of the sheriff. And let's show the rest of the cities what can be done to give them hope and know that we can take our state back, county by county, city by city. And Madison is the city on the hill that's going to lead that charge for the crusade against corruption in the state of Mississippi. Because it can be done. And 34 years ago, they said that we couldn't build the town of Madison into the city of Madison with beautiful buildings, landscaping, and little signs, and the place you would call home, you would be proud to rear your children, retire. Oh, this place called Madison. What we have here is bigger. It's much, much bigger. It's a calling this entire city has. And being the light of Mississippi, and you change Mississippi, you start changing other states. And the way you change our nation is to change government at the local level, at the very heartbeat of the people, where your home is. You change your communities, you change our country. God bless you, and I love you all.
Segue right into my announcement for the third quarter MOMA membership meeting, which will be town hall meeting, Madison Central High School on July the 28th at 6:30 p.m., where we will invite, or we've already invited, and I already have positive responses from about half of them, all elected officials for offices that impact the city of Madison. So that'll include everything from county clerk to supervisor to two House seats and one Senate seat. So we have about 21 candidates that we've invited. And hopefully you'll all come. I think these type things are extremely important. People go to the voting booth and they pull a lever for somebody. And we want to be educated voters, not voters that just pull a lever for a name they recognize. So, and that's the kind of thing the mayor will face in her race for state auditor. Too many uneducated voters. So this is an opportunity to be an educated voter. So I hope we can fill the auditorium up at Madison Central High School in July. So more will be going out about that later. We're waiting on responses from the candidates. I've got about 10 yeses so far. I would suspect that we'll probably get a yes from just about all the candidates that we sent or invited. So I really appreciate all of you coming tonight. That concludes the program tonight. So thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you again in July. So,